Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Wednesday, July 12th, and we've got a pretty wet day coming up for much of southern lower Michigan. Flash flood or flood watches are in effect, and again, some areas 2 to 3 inches, maybe locally as much as 5 inches of rain could fall across southern lower Michigan with that flood watch. You can see the extended outlook calls for temperatures to be warmer than normal and drier than normal, although we start to maybe diminish on the dryness here in about 14 days, as we now have seen about a 7-day positive in the SOI. Now it's beginning to crash a bit, and that could mean more troughing across the east and less drying. Again, we're going to have to watch for severe thunderstorms tonight. The cold front's going to be coming through about 6 or 8 hours later than what we thought, so that's going to not be the most prime time to generate severe storms, but certainly another round of storms could come through during the overnight and drop some locally heavy rainfall and maybe some severe weather. We're still in the slight risk, but again, if the front was about 6 or 8 hours sooner, I think we'd have a very good chance of severe storms by late in the day into the evening hours. But again, looks like that's going to hold off. The best chance of storms will come later tonight towards midnight into tomorrow morning. And if we look at that Southern Oscillation Index, this is the reason why we expect plenty of dry weather next week, about a 7-day delay in this. And again, now we're starting to crash, and you can see we now are out of the weak El Nino into a negative neutral. And again, we'll see that fluctuate back and forth throughout the summer. But again, overall, much of the time will be either in a weak El Nino or a strong negative neutral. And if we look at the conditions around the state this morning, obviously Novego's stationed down. I'll be heading out there today to switch out that computer, a new laptop there for the weather station. And Blissfield also down right now, and that went down around midnight, so I'm not sure if that's from some pretty good storms that maybe moved through there. I'm not really sure, but hopefully we'll have that station up. And again, you can see the flood watch is out for much of south central lower Michigan. And it's kind of odd to see this here across the northeastern portions of the Detroit County watch area. But yet here we are with Isabella and Gratiot and Mount Colnot in this. I'm kind of surprised we don't at least have these 3 counties in it. I think there'll be some potential, some very heavy rain, and with all the washed out roads in Isabella County still and issues up there, it certainly wouldn't take much to cause more erosion on some of those roads. So we'll see what happens as far as the rain. I think right now, Detroit has the best idea of also having heavy rains across northeast lower Michigan. You can see on satellite this morning a lot of the colder cloud tops developing with these MCS complexes. Lots of thunderstorms and heavy rains developing off to our west, and they'll be moving into the state. And again, you can see on radar, I think this northern area is going to survive the lake as it moves to the east-northeast. And again, lots of rainfall. Again, I think this is looking more and more like the stronger batch, so I think there'll be heavier rains a little farther north than what the flood watch for the Grand Rapids County watch area shows. If we look at the weather map this morning, you can see the Storm Prediction Center, WPC Weather Prediction Center, also has a chance of severe weather. The severe weather comes late this evening into the overnight hours, and the flooding rains are especially for this morning across much of the area. And then I think we get a little bit of a break during the afternoon before more storms will develop later on tonight. And if we look at the forecast map by tomorrow, again, that front still off to our west, so it's going to be very warm and muggy with least scattered thunderstorms in the morning. Best chance of redevelopment in the afternoon will be across portions of Indiana, Ohio, into western Pennsylvania. And then by Friday, plenty of sunshine finally returns as that front moves off to the east. And again, our next weather maker well off to our west could bring some isolated storms, maybe Sunday. But right now, the best bet looks like Friday and Saturday look pretty nice, with temperatures around 80 degrees or so. Sunday we warm up into the low 80s. As far as precipitation, this is all pretty much going to fall over the next 36 hours, around 1 inch to maybe 1.5 inches. That's on average, but again, I think we're going to see some of the short rains. The models have been predicting 2 to 3 inches and locally up to 5 from the areas around Lansing off to the south. And again, we'll just have to wait and see how much rain we get out of this. Certainly some areas could get a whole bunch. And as far as severe weather potential, again, you can see I added a note due to the late night frontal passage. Again, we don't see an enhanced or a moderate risk, but I do think there'll be some severe thunderstorms. But again, the later passage of the front certainly helps the cause of keeping them in the sub-severe range. But again, lots of lightning, very heavy torrential rains, and some hail. Also some possible damaging wind gusts on these storms here as we get into the nighttime hours. As far as the forecast, you can see the chance of severe storms later on today. We got the heavy thunderstorms with heavy rains, flash floods, temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, very sticky dew points in the 70s. And you can see Thursday thunderstorms, at least in the morning, highs in the upper 70s to low 80s, and then mid 70s to around 80 on Friday and Saturday with lots of sunshine. And then we see some of the warm air begin to try to return as we get into late Sunday, and that could touch off some thunderstorms and highs in the low 80s. And again, flash flood watch for across much of southern lower Michigan. Severe weather possible tonight. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great day. And 73s to all.